following hometown program is brought to you in living color on WBBZ TV.
Welcome to the Daily Buzz 716. I'm Adriana Viverette Gamble, and we are still here live at the Erie County Fair. Yes, clap for it. Do you know anything about tractor pulls? Well, we're going to go outside and talk to a champion. In addition to that, we have our favorite local puppeteer who's going to introduce us to a new puppet, where I believe. And oh yes, he's making headlines. There's a gentleman that's going to be with us who's going from town to town, place to place, street to street, passing out treats to those who cannot afford them. And it all starts right here. This is like one of the most dangerous questions because you just never know what's going to be said. Yeah. So ladies, what's on your mind?
Well, on everyone's mind is the tragedy, again, another terrible terrorist attack in Barcelona. Yeah. And it's unbelievable, a place where tourists and people are enjoying themselves. And when I said this, we were talking about it the other day, and you said that's the point of terrorism, to do that. But at Las Ramblas, which is a main street, a shopping street, a pleasure street in Barcelona, a few years ago, I was there with my husband and some other friends, and every morning, 5 mornings in a row, we just walked up and down that street as, you know, tourists enjoying the food, the shops, the ambience, and it's just unbelievable. And I don't know the answer. I don't know what we can do about it, but it's just something that all of us are going to have to deal with and think about in the future.
Our hearts and prayers go out to everyone there, the families of the 14 people killed.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Very, very, very sad.
And we want to talk about happy things now because we're at the fair.
Of course.
When you're at the fair, you hear food and fun.
We want to try, yes, right, fun.
So Adriana, fill us in on the Buffalo Bills.
Well, you know, although we lost, here in Buffalo, as you know, we are the most diehard fans, right? We don't care if you lose, we're going to still support and be excited.
I said happy things.
I'm sorry.
Judge!
They lost!
Well, the happy thing is that they're making some changes. We already know there's a new head coach, and apparently they're looking to make a change when it comes to the starting quarterback, and it could be Mr. Nate Peterman. Now, apparently he's looking to, you know, he's a rookie, so we never know exactly when he might get in or where he will fit in. But all I can know is when you're a rookie, you're getting out there trying to make an impression and really trying to step your game up so that you can remain in the game. So hopefully he'll get in and change the game up for us and have us go home with some wins.
Yes,
that Buffalo stepped our game up at Shays when we showed support for The Little Mermaid, right?
Wasn't that? Speaking about happy things, so The Little Mermaid has always traditionally been in people's minds a white, Caucasian, and blonde, or, you know, Barbie girl type
like the movie.
mermaid.
Like the movie.
Red hair.
Although it's so crazy because, and who knows what a mermaid looks like? Right. I don't know why they think she's supposed to look like that.
Right.
But at Shays, in this performance, which opened a few days ago, which is going to continue a little while and go around the country also. The Little Mermaid is this fabulous Asian American actress singer, and she has made history by playing this part and getting a standing ovation and the most fantastic reviews, just not just locally but nationally. And we're part of it, so I'm very proud.
I'm extremely proud, and although it's sad because, like, oh, this is history, well, it shouldn't have to be. It should just be diversity all the time, but I'm happy that we decided to pretty much break the mold.
Yeah, so it feels good that it's part of Buffalo.
That's Buffalo.
Yeah,
absolutely.
That's Buffalo.
And speaking of Buffalo, gotta talk about the Goo Goo Dolls, okay?
Yes.
Now, apparently, they have their top 10 places to eat. Now, when the Goo Goo Dolls go somewhere, I'm trying to be there. And I'm gonna just give you their top 3 places to eat. Okay, they have Temple as 1, 2 is Duff's. I love me some Duff's. And of course, 3, we got Gabriel Gate. So that is exciting. But right about now, as we talk about food, one of my favorite spots is Chevettas. And right now, coming out to talk to us and share with us about what we have on our plate is Mr. Peter and, of course, John. How are you?
Very good.
Thank you so much for coming and being here with us.
We're super excited excited to see you. We're so excited. You are like so famous in Buffalo, and not just Buffalo.
Well, the food is famous.
The food is beyond famous because
yes.
when you're going to different events, and sometimes they always say, "Oh, we have a cookout," and you want to know who's cooking.
Yes.
But the question is, when the answer follows with Chevettas, oh, I'm there.
We hear that often with graduation parties. People will get our food, so they increase the the attendance.
People follow you all over.
Yeah. Give us a little bit of history about Chevettas.
Back in 1951, the year before I was born, my father and mother belonged to the Western New York Farmers Co-op out of East Aurora, and Dr. Baker, yes, Dr. Baker, out of Cornell Recipe, or out of Cornell University, had his Cornell recipe and the way we cook chicken today. He developed the equipment and also a sauce. Well, my parents had a different version of the sauce, and from there it just kept rolling. Doing fundraisers for churches and other not-for-profits, fire departments, whatnot.
Hey, I just realized, so this is a secret recipe?
Why did you get so excited, Judge?
My eyes are lighting up. And you are going to tell our WBBZ listeners now every single ingredient?
Oh, yes.
Is that not true? No,
it's
that's not
vinegar
true,
and spices.
right?
That's it.
So what do we have here?
Right.
Okay, so we'll start with what brought us here today is the chicken, the barbecue chicken. And so often, people, they cook it too fast, too hot of a fire, and too close to the charcoal. And so our success is 2 feet away from the fire, cook it slower, baste and turn, and we don't marinate it all, actually.
You don't?
No,
Really?
no, we don't.
Goes on raw.
Start from the beginning to the end, and then after you cook it, baste it a little bit more, and we cover it and let it steam for a while.
Wow. Now, you mentioned churches, and my church, we do our family fun day every year, Zion Dominion, and it's a huge church, and every year you guys come out, you set up the pits, and I've watched the mechanism of how you guys get to grilling them. So you have like the whatever, like the net that's out, the grill net, and then you put one on top of it and you flip it,
right,
and you go to the next one, then you flip it. Now, where did this method come from, and what made you realize that this was a great way?
Let's go back to Dr. Baker.
Right.
He developed that whole system of the meshed racks.
Right.
We still have some racks that are as old as I am, 65 years old, that we don't use anymore. It's more like where we came from. Then, and that was always a two-man job. We have pictures where they only have like 20 halves of chicken there, and they're not even organized on the rack. And finally, we learned to organize the chicken, so we get 30 halves on a rack. And then, out of necessity, one day, there was a young man working for us that was waiting for my brother. My brother didn't come back in time to turn with him, so he put a clamp on one end of the rack and put another rack on top, turned by himself. So that's
It's genius. I love to see it done.
The success has been from people coming through the business.
I love it.
Right.
John, what is your role?
I'm operations manager at Chevettas Catering. Yeah, so we've developed these hickory smoked pulled pork that we do on our own, and we actually cut that hickory ourselves on Chevettas property.
Wow.
And then we have the smoked baby back pork ribs that those have cherry wood and apple wood as we're smoking them. So we've developed that probably the last 5 or 6 years.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Now, as an operations manager, it's really tough managing the operation. So some days I will see Chevetta at one location, I drive up the road, turn down the street, go on the expressway, and I get off, and then I see another Chevetta.
How does
this work? Managing the demand.
A lot going on. Yeah, a lot going on.
His father and I have been working together for 50 years, over 50 years.
Oh, wow.
And so the information is disseminated through the rest of the workforce.
The system was already in place.
I have a question. They say that you could die from eating cooked chicken that's not cooked well enough. Not supposed to say something negative, but how do you know? And how would people know?
165 degrees.
But like for how long?
No, it just takes a minute. That's all.
Oh, it's the heat. It's the heat.
It's also though, and my instincts were different than John's. John waits for the chicken to actually start breaking down, and he's got a different feel than I do.
I heard that somewhere.
Yeah.
You're gonna,
If you take the leg at home, just take the leg and twist it. If it twists, you're on.
Yeah, if the joint's loose.
Okay, you guys are going to do this for us because there's no way we're going to taste this these big pieces.
Oh, yeah,
like
just pick it all up, Judge. Just pick it up. Just pick it up. Now, what is that right there? So it's ribs. What kind of ribs?
Cut something up for us.
And how did you guys become a mainstay at the Erie County Fair?
Over 60 years.
Yeah, over 60 years.
While we're cutting that, let's talk about.
Oh yeah, I'll let John. I'll let you guys cut that.
Well, it was a joint venture with Will Poultry and my father back in the day, and then eventually my father bought the Wills out, and we started doing it ourselves. It was tough in the day to start things on your own, so to speak, and so the Wills were already there. They were raising chickens for the. What do you want to eat?
They're telling us, okay, we only have a minute, eat fast.
Now, my question is, how important was it for you to keep the legacy going?
It's just in your blood. I have two of my children working in the company now. John's been working all of his adult life, all childhood, and it just becomes a part of you, where you just want to continue. We have a location up in Lockport, and we're thinking about a third one. We're also thinking about going down to Florida to Publix and try to get the sauce distributed through Florida.
Oh yes.
Yeah. So it's diversified. I was always worried. My father lived through the Depression, and he always put that fear in me that you can just go out of business for no reason at all.
Yes.
So I always felt that it was important to diversify.
Well, you know what? You guys are doing an amazing job, and what we're going to do is dig right on in, get this chicken in this ribs. But of course, we want to thank John and thank Peter for being with us. We appreciate you.
Thank you.
Absolutely. And when you come to the fair, don't forget to check out Chevettas. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Welcome back to the Daily Buzz 716. I am here with last year's tractor pull champion, Jeff Hodem. Hi, Jeff.
Hi, guys. How are you doing today?
You may not believe this, Jeff, but there are some people who do not know what a tractor pull is. And you are looking at one, but I learned before I talked to you. But our audience needs to know.
Well, basically, the sport of trucking and tractor pulling is a competition is measured on distance and distance only. Now, speed, time, and timing, and everything is all a correlating factor, but it's measured on distance only. And what we do is start at starting point, you accelerate the motors, you get the power build up, and you go down the track, and you're measured on distance alone. And what we pull is what we call a transfer sled. And as the sled goes down the track, there's a box that moves on top of the rails that comes from over top of the two drive wheels on the back of the sled, so you have rolling friction as opposed to static friction. But as that box moves forward, the further down the track, changes off the tires and onto what we call a skid pan, and that then creates friction, and that's what basically makes you stop then at the end of the run. And that can be changed from the gearing on how fast that box comes up, the point at which that pan puts down pressure on the. There's a whole bunch of different factors there, but we're measured on distance only, and that's it. I mean, if it took you 3 hours to go 300 foot, we could, that's fine, but it's all done by distance only.
Okay, so when you do this, do you have to learn, take lessons, practice? How do you know how to do this?
Well, there is no practice. That's one of the things about this sport. There's really no practice. It's practicing when you're doing your official run on the track. There's no qualifying laps like motorsports or anything of that nature. Done everything right and got everything together and tightened everything correctly and have your fuel settings, air settings, and boost settings correct, and go out and basically hope for the best. Now there are dynos that we can put our motors on. Some more. All right.
No, they're having trouble hearing us, so we can't.
Oh, okay. But anyway, yeah, there is really no test that we can do. It's pretty much our test is our run. Like I said, no qualifying laps or anything. So it's quite the adventure to try to get this done and get it done and make sure you're in tip-top shape when you go.
Now, this seems to be one of the most popular events at the fair. People just come from all over, I guess, to watch this. Do they come from all over to participate?
Oh, yes. We've got guys, well, on the Lucas Oil Champions Tour, we'll hit about 9 different states throughout our tour.
I forgot to ask you where you're from.
We're from northeastern Ohio, about half hour south of Canton, Ohio. So if everybody's familiar with the Pro Football Hall of Fame, we're about a half hour south of there in an old town called Delroy.
And people come from all over. How do they know? Or do they have to qualify? How do they know, oh, the Erie County Fair is such and such a day and we're going to participate?
Well, we're all part of the Lucas Oil Champions Tour, so it's done at the early onset of the year before all the fairs start, and we have a schedule that we follow. And we go all the way from Missouri to Wisconsin to New York to South Carolina to Kentucky, Illinois, Indiana, Pennsylvania. Where else am I missing? I can't remember, but you actually, by the time you're done with the summer, you feel like one of the carnies at the fairs because you kind of travel with them too. So it's quite an adventure.
It's sort of a full-time job.
Absolutely.
Are you using, you and the other participants, contestants, using their own trailers, or do you buy them or rent them, or what?
No, we have our own motor coaches and trailers that we transport these units in, and you know the maximum weight of a pulling vehicle in a class is 10,000 pounds, and they go all the way down to 6,200 pounds. So it's really not a whole lot. You know, it's not like we have to get special permits because we're super huge or anything of that nature. But it's quite an effort to keep your tractor or truck running, keep your motor coach running, keep the tires good, keep the generator good, keep the motor on the coach running. You know, it's not just the pulling competition vehicle that you have to worry about. It's quite an event.
So do you do this all year round? I mean, do you worry about this and prepare to do it in the summer, or do you do it all year round?
Well, primarily the pulling season's in the summer. There are a couple of winter indoor events that we are able to participate in, but tractor and truck pulling primarily nowadays are noted more for just the fairs in the summertime. However, with that being said, with our sponsorships that we have and on all the social media that we do for our team, it is a full-time year-round job. I mean, because pulling season's done here in about the end of September, 1st of October at the very most, it's quite the you're starting to go for next year. You got to get things lined up.
Well, you are so enthusiastic about this. Can people watch? Is it over, or can people come and watch it now?
No, we pull tonight. I believe at 6 o'clock. I believe is 6 o'clock tonight is when we start. We got rained out last night, but that's all right. We're gonna make up for it tonight and have a good time tonight. So if you guys aren't doing anything, make sure you come out and check out the pull tonight. It's gonna be a great time. It's gonna be a great show, I promise. And come down in the pits and see us and see all the other competitors, meet the drivers. You can sign hero cards and everything.
I don't want to be prejudiced or biased about this, but we know who we are all going to come and root for, Jeff. After talking to you, we're going to go. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
And good luck. And
Thank
we are
you.
going to go back inside with the ladies of the Daily Buzz, and we are going to meet a famous puppeteer, Adam. So please stay with us. We'll be right back.
Welcome back to the Daily Buzz 716. Now, our next guest is an educator, magician, and he's performed and built puppets that have appeared in films, commercials, theatrical productions internationally. So we want to welcome to the Daily Buzz the incredible, the magnificent, the awesome Adam Krutinger.
Thank you.
I had to give him that intro. I felt like I was like, on a boxing rat meet for a quick second.
Oh,
so,
gosh.
yeah.
Welcome, Adam.
Thank you so much for having me.
Adam's getting to be a regular because we met him before on the Daily Buzz.
And every time he comes on, there's a new character we have with us.
That's right. This is a fresh creation now too. We just finished it up yesterday.
Really?
Who is this?
This is a puppet that I built for the Theater of Youth. They have their show coming up. It opens September 30th, goes until October 29th. It's called Bunnicula. It's about a Dracula bunny, like a vampire rabbit, that this regular family finds a rabbit and they take it home, and then all these unusual things start to happen in the story.
So I'll tell you something unusual, okay? On my way here, I was a little late, so I hopped in the golf cart, and as I rolled by the cows, I swear I saw Bunnicula near the cows. I knew something wasn't right with this bunny.
Maybe some people are not familiar with Adam because it was a long time ago that he was on the Daily Buzz with us. Could you tell us a little about you and how you got to do this?
Sure. I'm an art teacher. I'm just going to be starting at a new school at South Davis Elementary in Orchard Park.
Congratulations.
Thank you. In September, very excited for that. It's a wonderful district. But I've been doing theater. I've been involved in theater for a very long time, and I've started off building costumes. I worked at DC theatrics for a little bit, building costumes. And then a couple of years ago, I was in a production of Little Shop of Horrors, and that's a musical that uses big puppets. And I saw
Big tree or something.
yeah, it's a big plant. Yeah, like a big Venus fly trap. Yeah.
People eating plant.
Exactly. Yes. Yes. It does.
It's all coming back.
I know.
Oh yes,
I know.
it does sing.
I've seen it a few times. Yeah.
Yeah. So I was in that production, and I did not make those puppets or perform them. But that's when I really saw, what an art puppetry is, and that's what I love so much about puppetry is it combines all different types of art, from building to performance art, and so when you build this sculpture of a puppet, it's an artwork that has two lives: the sculpture and then also the performing aspect. So that's why I fell in love with puppetry.
Now, when you talk about building, yes, there's the art of figuring out how to make it look great, and then the art of figuring out the structure, but then there's mechanics to it.
Yes.
How did you get into that area of actually building and developing the ways to make it work as perfectly as possible?
Well, one thing that helps is being a performer and being a puppeteer myself. There's a lot of people that make puppets that are not puppeteers, and a lot of times they look really great, but sometimes they don't always operate quite as well. So that's one thing that I take a lot of pride in my puppets, is that making sure that they're very good for the performer to get the most action out of it. And I can show you a couple of the things that we did in this one. This one has a bunch of mechanical pieces to it as well. So yeah, this is all controlled.
People eating.
No, it's not a people eating one. Don't worry about that.
About that movie.
I'm very
Judge
close.
looks nervous, Adam.
I'm very close.
She looks nervous.
So this is all controlled by one performer, okay? And it's mostly a head movement. The rabbit doesn't in the show really move around that much. It's mostly in the corner or in a cage, but it has to do some interesting stuff. So just by moving the wrist, we're able to get some ear action there.
Wow.
So, and also to change the silhouette when he's sleeping. Another thing that we have going on here is his eyes light up, which is very good for the
Very dangerous.
for the vampire kind of look. And also, what I did is his eyes kind of make him get kind of angry looking.
Oh, look at this.
His eyes turn down, and of course, since he is a vampire, you can see his teeth come out too.
Oh my God. Oh, come on.
And you did all of this from start to finish.
Absolutely.
I told you I was afraid of this. You didn't believe
You
me.
did all of this from start to finish. How long did it take you to build?
About a week and a half. Yeah, a lot of hours, probably about 40 hours.
Now, is there a school for this? Did you go to a training, or did you just really self-taught?
Most of it is self-taught and trial and error. Yeah, he's taking.
Oh, yeah.
He's gonna take a little nap right now. But I mostly. I am mostly self-taught, but I did for the last couple, I think 5-6 years, I've been going to the Eugene O'Neill Theater Center, and they have a puppetry track. They're learning all different forms of puppetry, from shadow puppets, marionettes, all different styles.
You know, it's funny you should say that, because when we say somebody's a puppeteer, like we said to you, I'm sure that the first thing our audience or viewers think of is somebody doing that, but don't you?
Exactly.
I don't think they imagine. So there's different kinds.
Absolutely, there's ton, and anything can be a puppet, and it's really, to me, puppetry is giving an inanimate object life. And if that's your definition of puppetry, anything can be a puppet. You look at like stop animation, things like that. That's kind of a form of puppetry as well.
So what will you be doing at the new school?
At the new school?
Yeah.
Oh, I've got tons of all kinds of fun art lessons that we're going to be doing. I like to incorporate the puppetry into my lessons as well. Because one thing is, for students, is a lot of times students can be shy in front of a classroom, and having a puppet can help give them a voice. That they feel like it's not them up there giving a presentation or something like that.
Now, growing up, were you interested in puppets? Like, as a kid, was this like, a go-to thing for you?
Watch what was the old-time puppet shows?
The Muppets?
Howdy Doody, the puppets?
Oh.
The Muppets,
Well, the
definitely.
Muppets cartoon. Yeah, Muppets, yeah.
I did, like most people, grew up with Sesame Street, but really, I came to puppetry kind of late in life. It was, in college is when I really found puppetry. Before that, I was a magician for a long time, for 10 years, doing that professionally, and I think that having that mind for how things work in magic helped. I could apply a lot of that to my puppet building and my teaching as well.
Wow. Now, what made you, you say we talked about being a musician, but what made you get into that?
Oh, getting into magic?
Yes.
That was also theater, because I met my fiance. I'm getting married in 2 months.
Congratulations.
Thank you. In October 20th, which is also our dating anniversary.
Ooh,
so
that's great.
we're going to be married.
Double whammy.
That's right. We're going to be married married on our 15-year dating anniversary.
Wow. We'll have to talk because I'm
like
hitting
to
6
know.
years on Sunday, so I'm going to give you some tricks.
That's
She's
right.
always
yeah.
right.
But we started dating in 9th grade in high school, and then but she was always into theater, doing shows in school, outside of school, and then eventually she dragged me into the ensemble, doing stuff. And then when I was in the ensemble, a lot of times they would rent costumes for the leads, but for the people in the background in high school, a lot of times you had to kind of find your own, make your own. So and that's how I kind of got to sewing and to costume making, and I just started to fall in love with theater, and I did it more and more. And a great way to spend time with my fiance too. We're working on all these productions together.
I love it. He said to start doing more and more, and a great way to spend time with my fiance.
Exactly.
You see how women change men's lives. You know, she changed
We're
his
talking
life.
about puppets.
Oh yes. I'm sure I wouldn't be doing any of this stuff if I hadn't.
His whole
love
career is based on trying to get in good with this fiance.
Yeah. Right,
It's
absolutely.
amazing. It's an amazing story, but typical.
Now, you being a teacher, can you give us one example of maybe how you doing this helped blossom one of your students?
You know what? Since this is a performance, it's going to be at the Theater of Youth. A lot of my students over time have gone to see shows that I've worked on. I've worked with Theater of Youth for many years. Some of the recent ones we did was the BFG, the Big Friendly Giant. We did the Bar Wars, which also incorporates puppets and masks. And then I am working on this one, and also one in the spring. We're going to be doing Stella Luna.
Well, you know what? We're going to talk about Stella Luna when we come back because we have to take a short break. We're going to talk more with our guy Adam and of course some of our friends. Stay with us.
Who are we bringing up?
Oh, I've got. Oh.
Welcome back to the Daily Buzz 716. We're continuing our conversation with the teacher, puppeteer, and of course, magician, our man, Mr. Adam Kruinger. And look like we don't have another friend.
I'm not a magician.
Arlo.
I'm a monkey.
How are you today, Arlo?
I'm doing fantastic.
Are you enjoying the fair?
Are you kidding me? This fair?
Yeah.
It's unbelievable. It's the best fair in the world.
Now, you know when you come to the fair, you got to think about the F's when it comes to the fair. Food and fun. So what food are you going to eat?
My favorite food is the cotton candy.
Oh, my.
Well, absolutely. It's tough though. It gets all stuck in my fur, but it's totally worth it.
Are you going to eat
totally
the blue
worth
cotton
it.
candy? Because I think it will like brighten up your skin.
Oh, actually, that's right. If I get it on me, then it won't. No one will even notice.
Nobody knows.
Huh.
Yes.
Perfect. Good thinking.
Arlo, excuse me. You ate some of my Chevetta's chicken too. Yeah. Can we talk about how you
You saw that?
Arlo,
It was just a little bite.
Are you too little to go on the rides? You go on the captain.
Yeah, you got to be this tall to ride these rides, Arlo.
I sneak on through the back.
Arlo, that's dangerous.
No, I'm just kidding.
We're going to let Tiger know. That's not good at all.
Are you brave? Because some of them are scary.
Are you kidding? I'm used to swinging around in the trees, and I'm used to that kind of action.
For sure. Arlo is a friend of the show, and of course you are too. So tell us, when did you first introduce Arlo into, your whole performance, and what is it you do, puppeteer?
Oh, Arlo, I developed him while I was at my graduate program at Buffalo State.
Okay.
And I wanted to create an art show for kids, and Arlo is the host of it. So he teaches kids how to do little art lessons and stuff. He's got his own little YouTube channel, and he's also kind of like the unofficial mascot of my art class as well.
Awesome.
Arlo's famous.
Oh yeah, the kids have a fun time with him.
He was also warming up to the judge during the.
Oh, that's right. Oh yeah.
Oh, yes.
Give me. Oh.
Yes, yeah. We made friends before.
Now, before we went to break, you were sharing with us about. I'm just trying to go back to it. It just crossed. Yeah.
With the new, what you were planning now.
Yes.
That you're working on.
We have Benicula coming up in October, and then we have after that we're gonna be working on Stella Luna.
Yeah, Stella Luna. That's the word. I couldn't get it out of my head. I was trying to figure out what it was.
Yeah, Stella Luna is one of my favorite children's books. I actually do an art lesson on it. Do the artwork in there. The illustrations are absolutely stunning. It's about this little bat that gets lost, and then kind of joins some birds, and doesn't know that it's a bat. It's kind of figuring that out. I love it. It's just such a sweet story. It's going to be a complete puppet show. I think I have to build like 15 large puppets for that, and that's going to be in the spring.
Now, how do you build out a bat?
I'm gonna have to
We'll find out.
figure that out. loud. But there was something else I wanted to do with you guys quick.
Yeah,
'cause
would you?
with the
Yes, what else
puppetry,
we
is
got?
I wanted
We know
to
there's
teach you guys
something else.
how to be puppeteers.
Oh, I'm
Teach you
ready.
ladies, you ready?
I'm a-
So what I
ready.
brought for you to
We learn
use.
everything on our daily
Do you?
buzz. Yeah,
Here, why don't you use one of these?
Okay.
I'll show you how these go on like this.
Put 'em on your
You
finger?
just put it on your middle finger like a ring. Mm-hmm. And then now you have a little makeshift puppet.
Yes. Well, I'm excited to be here. What about you, Mercedes?
This is so weird.
Judge, you gotta close your mouth.
It helps
Judge.
if you do like a little bit of a goofy voice. Yeah, put a little character into it, doesn't it?
I want to hear what the judge has to say.
Yeah. Oh,
Judge, yeah. You gotta flip your eyes around.
I think you've had one too many. Let me flip that over for you.
You have to go to the out no more.
I'm really happy to be here. Happy to see all of you today. Thank you for
Well,
coming.
I'll just show you quick. One thing that you try to do with puppetry is try to open the mouth for each syllable, generally, when
syllable?
you're talking slow. So, hello, so you would open twice
Hello.
for the word hello. I don't know what that word is. What is that? She does her own sound effects too, huh?
This is probably not that easy.
I think I'm enjoying this
This is not as
way
easy as it
too
looks.
much.
Life will never be the same.
No.
Do we get to keep these?
I don't know if it's in the budget.
They're going to be using this for time to come. We're going to be 100 years old, and they're still going to be showing this, right?
Oh, yeah,
I just
yeah.
wanna
It's gonna be.
say-
This is gonna be the
I see
profile
Kelly.
picture of your autobiography right there.
I
This needs to be
see
a
Kelly
permanent
and
part of the
John's
show.
eyes lighting
So
up
is
right
this one of the
now.
classes that you do with your students?
Yes. When I'm teaching students or even adults for the first time for a lesson, this is where we start off with. Because one of the most important things with puppetry is that brings a character to life isn't necessarily the lip syncing or even how the puppet looks. To me, it's really the eye focus. That's what makes something seem like it's alive. It's when it's actually looking at you and talking to you. Versus, so a lot of people when they're doing puppetry is they tend to open the mouth like this, which makes the eyes go up. But what you really want to try to do is just move your bottom thumb.
You
So
see?
that way you can
You're having way too much
lock
fun.
the focus.
I love it. My name
This must be
is
so much fun for kids.
Yeah.
Sheila the
Grown-up
Frog.
kids too.
Sheila the Frog.
Sheila the
Oh,
Frog.
All right.
What is
See my nails
happening right
pink?
now?
So this is
Listen, I just want to say you have to come back again because
Yes.
Sheila will be here. And when we come back, we're going to be talking to a famous man who is surely spreading the joy of what I like to call ice cream. Okay? Thank you, Adam, for being with us. Stay with us. Don't go anywhere. It's me and Sheila. No, I'm just joking. Welcome back to the Daily Buzz 716. Our next guest has been seen all over Buffalo on his ice cream psycho. He's become a huge story not only around here, but also nationally. Now, we're so happy to have with us James. Oh my goodness, don't let me do it. I don't want to butcher it. Carianis. Now, when I first saw your story on TV, I was so excited, and then I got a chance to see the article, and I immediately Facebooked our producer, and I was like, Kelly, we have to have him on here because your story is phenomenal.
So please tell us, okay, how did you get started in this adventure?
I've been riding an ice cream bike for a few years now around Buffalo. I mean, it's just, who doesn't love ice cream or bicycles, right?
Yeah.
So last year we started to, we came up with an idea, like when kids don't have $1 and we run into too many of them every day, and it breaks your heart to say no, you just want them to have the ice cream, right? But we just don't want to give the ice cream to them. So we want them to feel like they've earned it. So we printed up postcards and we have the kids write thank you notes to the people who bought their ice cream.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah.
Now, how do you find the people that buy their ice cream? How's this funded?
Yeah, so it kind of like just took on a life of its own. I put it on Facebook and it went viral and it spread, and people from all over the country, all over the world have sent us dollars in to buy these kids ice cream.
I'm sorry, did I see that you brought samples of the postcards?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
Let's see some of these.
I would love to know, and so would our viewers, I think.
Oh, I
some
love
of the
it.
postcards that this is
These
so
are
cute.
these are
ice
so
cream.
cute.
Thank you for donations for the ice cream.
So they write them while
I
you're
love
out in the
ice
community and
cream.
hand them back to you?
Yeah.
Now let's talk about the reason. Now you said you've been writing this for a while now. I really want to get to what made you, decide to do this and reach out, because it went viral. Now you have raised over $10,000. I believe like 16.
We've given out 16. Well, actually, it's about 20,000 now that we've given out, but we've raised about 40,000, and then I kind of cut it off because that's a lot.
Right. So you have enough to go on for how many years you feel like, or how long?
So I think we should, by the end of next season, we should have been able to give it all out.
Now, what you shared most is what I love. My grandfather, whenever we used to hear the ice cream man comes, we all go running outside. Can I get $1? Can I get $1? And I would go run and my grandfather change. And there would always be kids that would be on their porch who didn't have the dollar. So my grandfather would be like, everybody come on and get this ice cream, $10, $20, everybody gets.
Your grandfather isn't always there.
Right, exactly.
But those kids are.
Yes.
And they see you, like, I'll ride down the street, a couple kids will come up and get ice cream, and you'll see out of the corner of your eye those other kids on that porch across the street who are just kind of sitting there, and you feel bad for them.
That would break your heart.
Let them have the ice cream.
And this is why I love it, because this creates the grandfathers for everybody constantly.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And the love of it is amazing.
And it's traditional. It's generations and generations that we can think of people. We can all tell stories of waiting for I had the Good Humor Man. I was in New York, and we were waiting for the bell. And now I see the same, like wherever you go. Like you just said, you hear the bell or the song or whatever, and it's so makes people so happy. It makes kids so happy. Like
now, what are the areas you cover within Western New York?
So our base is North Buffalo, and we mostly ride East Side, West Side, Riverside, Elmwood-ish.
Now, has there ever been a scenario where a kid walks up and tries to give you $1 and you're like, no, and they're looking at you like, what do you mean?
No, probably not.
So if there are like 10 or 15 kids, and one has $1, I feel weird taking that $1 from that one kid,
Right.
So
that would be
keep your $1, go buy candy or something later, have the ice cream.
Yeah. Thank you, you're cool.
Yeah,
Thank you.
These cards are so super cute.
They're so cute. I love ice cream.
When you say we, how many of you are?
There are 10 of us.
10.
Yeah.
Okay, and how often are you guys out in the different communities?
Every day. Unless it's raining, which it has been a lot this summer. So, every day.
What is the cutoff time, like leading up? Because I know sometimes in September we have great season. So when do you kind of like cut it off?
I feel like that third week of October is really when you can feel the weather change.
Yes,
So I try to go up till, sports is still going on.
Yeah.
So I try to go as late as I can.
I love ice cream. It's good for you. I'm sorry. I love ice cream. It's good for you.
Oh yeah.
It's good for you.
Now, have you ever make sure? Because I know sometimes there's kids like always at the basketball courts or at like football fields. Now, do you kind of target specific areas as well?
Absolutely. Yeah. I know where every football game is, every baseball game, soccer, everything.
Now, did you ever expect for this to go viral the way it has?
No. I didn't print up enough cards. Like, I called my friend the night before I posted it on Facebook, and I said, "Can you read this and tell me if it sounds silly?" And I had no idea.
Now, what has been like the feedback from donors? People who are just giving and.
People are sending me messages. Hey, I got a postcard last year. It's still in my fridge, and it's like a daily reminder, like to pay it forward. And this is really just, it touches a lot of people, and it's amazing.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Are you thinking expansion?
I would love to. So
cities.
what I'm doing this summer is I'm really focusing on schools and community centers, so I can kind of figure out my spiel, like speaking to a large group of kids, and then I would like to, why can't I pop the trailer or the bike onto a trailer and go from city to city, school to school, and do it? Why not?
But the lesson you're trying to learn, trying to give, teach, whatever, is giving, as you said, and paying forward. It's not just like, oh, I love ice cream or I want ice cream.
Right.
There's more to it.
And also like a handwritten thank you note. Who doesn't love getting one?
Yeah, I think there comes a point here where we actually
Who
get
doesn't
to,
love getting some ice cream?
Thank you.
Would you mind?
I was trying to say that
sharing
tactfully.
Right.
I was trying to say tactfully.
Now, as we about
can
to
we get
indulge
ice cream?
into ice cream, what are flavors we have?
Okay, so I have a strawberry fruit bar here, which is my favorite. I brought all the classics.
Is that a fudge
Sunday Crunch.
I had chocolate, strawberry Sunday Crunch. Okay, chocolate crunch. There you go. Ice cream bar. I have.
Okay, here.
Sandwiches here. Ice cream sandwich.
As you're passing out the ice cream, which I'm sure you're not a stranger to, you know, who was it in your upbringing, in your family? Because I know my grandfather has always been a person that played that part in the importance of paying it forward. Who was it that instilled that into you?
Yeah, my mother. She didn't have a lot of money, but she always tried to say yes every opportunity she could get, you know.
So
And,
these are supposed to taste good besides being beautiful and being a good deed and everything. These taste good too, right?
yeah. That is the number one ice cream right there.
Oh.
Yeah.
You chose the best one.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
of course.
Yeah.
Yummy.
Is there a situation that you can think of where you were with a kid and you saw a look on their face or something that they said to you where you said, this is what it's all about? Is there one that pops in your...
Okay, so maybe it was a couple months ago. I was playing a little game with this little girl, and so she did her postcard, right? She got her ice cream, and I was like, I don't remember if it was like you win 5 more ice creams if you can like guess the number I'm thinking of between, you know, I was gonna say 1 in a million, you know, and she guessed it, and I gave her those 5. Yeah, I gave her 5 ice cream. I have a video of it on my Facebook page, and watch it later. Her reaction is amazing.
She really guessed it, or you did like our parents did when they were playing bingo with us and made it, oh, B5? Yes, B5.
Okay. All right.
Tell us the truth, right?
Well, do you have a social media pages that we can all follow?
James the Ice Cream Psycho Dude on Facebook or icecreamdude.com.
Just that simple. Well, we want to thank
you
James
so
for being
much.
with us.
Thank
We're
you.
going to enjoy our ice cream. Again, thank you for all the great and the good that you are doing in these neighborhoods.
And for
definitely-
leading such a great example.
Yes, and changing lives one ice cream at a time. So we appreciate it. Don't forget to give back. Stay with us. We'll be coming back for our final thoughts. Welcome back to the Daily Buzz 716. Now, we have had a great time here at the fair. And of course, we had to come and allow our folks from the fair to come in and give some final thoughts and share with us about the fair and how it has been throughout our time.
Thank you.
Yeah. Welcome, of course.
Thank you. It's been a great run.
Absolutely. So it's been exciting. We have been here all week, the last 2 weeks. And, you know, so far, all I can say, everyone talks great about the fair this year. The season, the weather has held up for us. So,
How does it rate? How does it rate, you know, hi Denny. How does it rate compared to others? I know, you know, figure-wise and attendance-wise and everything else.
Right now, we're currently above the last 2 years. We're running very close to what it was in 2013. So we're very positive with the gate admission and parking and concessions. So it's been a very, very strong fair. If the weather holds up for the next 3 days, we'll be golden.
If only we had something to say or do about that. We're sorry. We're sorry we can't help you with that. Even our weather people can't, you know. But has there been like feedback, what people liked best this year, or what was improved, or what was their favorite activity? We just talked to the tractor pull guy, Jeff, and he was telling us how people love that. So
I think the biggest surprise for most people was the tornado damage and been repaired. I have had a lot of comments about that, and I'll let Jessica speak to the other events.
I think a lot of the shows have gotten great response. Some that were shot, you know, the big bands at night in the Family Entertainment Complex, people like that. What do you think, Holly?
I think the kitchen's been a big hit. We have many demonstrations coming this weekend as well, so we should stop on down and see the demonstrations.
I guess you should be telling everybody that even though we're leaving,
the fair
you guys are staying, right?
When is the last day of the fair?
We close on Sunday the 20th.
All right, so that means you have up until the 20th to get here, because if you come on the 21st, we won't be here.
See the city gone away.
Right, so what can we expect for next year? Or are we not preparing just yet?
We'll start preparing on the 20. We'll start preparing on the 21st. We'll have a hash out of the staff and the directors, and then start our planning in September.
All right, so we want to thank our fair team for allowing us to be here.
Yes, thank
you so much for coming and sharing with us, and also being selfless in putting forth the work needed. So right about now, it's time for the lucky number announcement. And if you visited our gazebo here at the Erie County Fair and picked up a lucky number card, take a look to see if you are a winner. So today's number is 710. I'll repeat, it's 710. I feel like Yolanda Vega, like from the lottery, when she's,
Every
you know,
time we
saying
do
the
it, we
lucky,
say the
the
same
Powerballs
thing.
and stuff.
We all
And
say
John is out here. Hey, John.
I am. You know, I just
Yeah.
wanted to jump out. Denny Lang is retiring as CEO of
His
the fair
last
this year.
year.
So, Denny, congratulations on all your great work. Thank you. It's been a long time. We have a long history together. And Jessica, congratulations for everything you did. Holly, thank you for your hospitality, you and Marty Biniaz, to set us up here, and to Clint Soman, our chief engineer, who helped orchestrate all of the technical facility here for the Erie County Kitchen Cooks. Are we going to get air conditioning next year, Denny? I don't know. What do you think?
That's going to be up to Jessica.
Oh, okay.
This is why when I asked Danny, I said, what are the plans for next year? He was like,
Yeah, we don't know.
I'm
We're
outta
wrapping up.
here.
Go to our gazebo. We're right next to the historical building. Play your Buzz Drop. It's a $1 donation for Prevention Focus. And thanks to all our viewers, and thanks to this great crew.
Thank you.
Our interns are leaving us, Daryl Edwards and Abby Nurse. Thank you all. And thanks to Kelly O'Hara and the entire WBBZ production team, Andy, Joe, Chatham, Warren, Tim, and everybody. Thanks for watching, everybody. On your hometown Me TV station, WBBZ TV. We'll see you Monday live at 10.
There's nothing like having John do that.